If college is a road trip, my first year was a car wreck. It was my first time being away from home, and I didn't have a map. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I had no one with me for the ride, and the only thing to guide me was the occasional road sign to tell me if I was going in the right or wrong direction. By the end of my first year, I was on the side of the road with a flat tire and an overheated engine. I went home for summer vacation, unsure as to whether I wanted to return to my road trip in the fall. I spent the summer reflecting on where I had gone and where I was wanting to go. I examined the wrong turns and the breakdowns, and, after a tune-up, I decided to go back for another year. The difference, though, would be that I would have a map. A paper map, GPS, TomTom, or Siri, whatever type would be fine, but I needed something to give me direction throughout college. I could no longer make decisions on the fly, hoping that at a fork in the road, I would choose the right direction. A road trip without a map is a long and confusing journey, feeling frustrated as you get lost, and eventually you're tempted to just turn around and go back home. With a map, you have direction. You know what your end destination will be, and you feel secure that eventually you'll get where you're supposed to be at the end. The map that I so desperately needed my first year became the idea of living my life with intention. During that summer before my sophomore year, I took the time to understand my values and how I wanted my morals and beliefs to be reflected in my daily life. When you understand your values and beliefs, it becomes easier to make those daily decisions. It becomes common to ask yourself, how will this decision affect me today, next week, and next year? And will the choices I make today help me make it to my destination tomorrow? Having a map, knowing your values and why you believe in them, prevents your road trip from detouring too far and allows you to enjoy the scenery and the twists and turns of the road. Now, when I began living my life with intentions, things started to change. Daily life became easier. My grades improved. I found a place for myself on campus. And happiness was an emotion that became the norm. In class, I would stand my ground in debates and discussions, and it felt good. It felt good to know that when people disagreed with me, it was okay, because I believed in myself, and I knew why I had those beliefs. When I came to a fork in the road, it was easier to know which direction to take. I knew what road looked familiar and where it would lead. I had confidence, and that altered my interactions with others. Since making the conscious decision to be intentional with my actions, people described me as kind, generous, or that I was hospitable. I didn't view myself as any of those things. Those actions that people saw as kind and generous were just me living my life, knowing that every interaction with a person will affect them in one way or another. It sounds cheesy, but I treated others how I wanted to be treated, knowing that everyone is on their own road trip, and you never know if they have a flat tire, if their engine is about to overheat, or if they're about to just turn back. So giving a friend flowers who was going through a hard month, listening to someone rant without interruption or judgment, or having lunch with someone who's sitting alone wasn't any extraordinary act for me. I was just living my life, knowing that if I was that person, that's what I would probably want from someone. During my first year in college, I applied to be an RA. I really wanted to be an RA. I knew I would be good at it, and that I was creative and responsible and perfect for the job. So I applied and made it through both rounds of interviews. And then a few weeks later, I received a form letter telling me I did not receive the position. I was devastated. College was horrible, and there was nothing to look forward to as a sophomore. Quite frankly, though, it's for the best I didn't receive the position. At the end of my first year, I didn't know who I was or what I represented. I was having an identity crisis, and that's not something you would want an RA to be going through, as she's supposed to be mentoring and guiding new students. I wasn't ready for the job. Not yet. After my summer of discovery and my sophomore year of living with intention, I reapplied for the position. I didn't think I would get the job, but I was going to apply anyway. What's the worst they could do? Reject me? They had already done that once. And if they decided to do it again, I was okay with it, because that meant I wasn't fit for the position. But I at least would never wonder what if. So I reapplied, and during the interview process, I actively applied my new philosophy of making every decision count, and being aware of the repercussions it would have. During group interviews, I wasn't the loudest in the group, or the most eager. But I was the one who observed, and then spoke, and tried to incorporate everyone's ideas into one cohesive product. During my personal interview, I thought through each question, each possible answer, the answers they probably wanted to hear, and the answer I actually thought. And I stayed true to what I believed was the best answer for me. I left the final interview feeling confident and that I had an honest shot at being hired. So then a few weeks passed and I received the letter. The letter saying, "Thank you for applying, but we had a lot of applicants this year, so we would like to waitlist you." Waitlisted. A summer of self-discovery, a year of living with intent, and I'm waitlisted? I was disappointed. But the difference from the year before was that I was not defeated. I had my roadmap. I was still going to end up at the final destination, and being an RA might just not be the road I take to get there. However, 2 weeks later, I received a second letter offering me a position as an RA, and I was overjoyed. I knew I was meant for the position, and now they did too. I spent my second summer of college getting over my first breakup. The morning after the breakup, I told my mom, "I feel like I have a lot of love and my heart to give. And it just hurts that no one seems to want it." Now, I don't believe in failure. I believe in lessons learned. My first failed attempt at becoming an RA, I learned I need to actively live my life, and I cannot just let things passively happen. My first failed relationship, I learned that love is expressed in multiple ways, and that it can be given to more than just one person. I took those two lessons learned and used it as a foundation for my RA position.